Hey guys, so welcome to a new tutorial with the programmers. In this tutorial, we will learn about the basics of C++ type conversion with the help of few examples that I'll be demonstrating to you with this depth C++. Okay, so C++ allows us to convert data of one type of that of another. This is known as type conversion. Okay, so mainly there are two types of type conversion, which is implicit conversion, and another one is known as explicit conversion. It's also known as you can also call it as typecasting. Okay, but in this tutorial mainly we're only going to be looking at implicit conversion because this is the common type of conversion that most of us use, and explicit conversion is a more advanced topic and we don't really actually use it. So I'm not really going to like show you on what is explicit conversion, but maybe I'll give you like a slight brief on what's the difference between explicit conversion and implicit conversion. Okay, so as you can see, I've written a small note over here, so you can just take a read over here. So the type conversion that is automatically done by the compiler is known as implicit type conversion. This type of conversion is also known as automatic conversion. So I'm sure like by now you have gotten like a slight idea of like what this type conversion is all about, right? Okay, so let us now look at, I'm going to give you like two examples. Okay, let's just start now with the first example. Okay, so let's just have the cell skeleton code over here. Your include IOStream using namespace std, your int main with the curly brackets open and return 0. Okay, so everything's set. So let's straight away dive into the code right now. Okay, so first of all, let's just assign. So basically what you have to understand is, in example one, what I'm going to show you is a conversion from int to double, which is the integer to double. Okay, so now first of all, let's now assign an integer value to maybe a num int. Okay, so this is a command. This is not a line of code. This code is not going to get executed because as you can see it's been grayed out. So not sorry, there's been a typo over there. Okay, so num int, we're going to assign this to a number. It could be any number. So maybe let's just give it 7. Okay, so now what we have done here is we have assigned an integer value to a num int. Num int is just a variable. So in this variable, we're storing 7 inside this variable. Okay, so this is pretty basic. I'm very sure you all are familiar with this by now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to declare a double type variable. Okay, so double. Okay, okay, as simple as that. So I'm just gonna give this a comment so that it's easier for you guys to understand what we're doing here. Alright, so now what you're going to do is we're going to assign the integer value to the double variable. Okay, let's see how we're going to do that. Okay, let's just put a comment. So this is where implicit conversion is happening. Not this is both of these. Up here what you've done is normal. Okay, you've seen this in previous tutorials. I'm very sure you've seen this previous tutorials and you're familiar with this right now. So what you're going to do down here is where implicit conversion takes place. Okay, so as you all know, now what you're going to do is you're going to assign an integer value to a double variable, right? Okay, so how we do this? This is how we do this. It's pretty simple. Just one single line of code. Okay, okay, so what we have done here is basically we have taken this num double that we have declared just now and we've set it to equal to num integer that we have stored the 7 inside. So basically 7 is now becoming a double. Okay, so now we have done everything, right? So now let's just look at the output. I'm very sure without output you all wouldn't get like a clear picture. So let's just look at the output, right? So let's print it out. This could be anything. So maybe like to make it simple, let's just call this number integer. Okay, let's just make a maybe n line statement so that you get a cleaner look. Okay, so okay, sorry for the interruption. There was a small error with my depth C++. Okay, so now let's continue where we left. Okay, so now we're going to look at the number double. All right, so let's give a space. Okay, that's done. Okay, so now let's run the program. Let's compile and run the program. Okay, so let's just straight up go here, compile and run. Okay, always remember to use the hotkeys if possible because that's way quicker. Okay, so as you can see, the number integer is 7 and number double is also the same, 7. So what we have done here is in this program we have assigned an integer data to a double variable, right? Okay, so here the integer value is automatically converted to a double by the compiler before it is assigned to the num double variable. This is an example of an implicit type conversion, right? So I'm going to repeat one more time again. This is where the implicit type conversion is happening. What we're doing here is the integer value is automatically converted to a double by the compiler before it is assigned to the double to the num double. Okay, this is an example of the implicit type conversion. Okay, so now let's clear the screen. Okay, so now let's look at another example. Okay, so another example, maybe I was thinking of maybe showing a automatic conversion from double to int. Okay, so let's declare our variables in. Maybe let's just give this a 9.99 because it's a double value, right? Okay. Okay, so this is where the implicit conversion is going to happen. So what you're going to do here is you're going to assign a double value to an integer variable, okay? Okay, so now let's assign a double value to an integer variable, okay? So num okay, so that's all. So now let's print out and see what we get as an output, okay? So you can see the difference between the previous example and the current example, okay? So I'm a bit lazy to you can just, if you all are lazy, you can just copy the statement and change this to double and change this to double as well. Alright, so now let's look at it. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see, the number integer is 9 and the number double is 9.99. So in this program, what we have done is we have assigned a double data to an integer variable. Okay, so here what we have done is here the double value is automatically converted to integer by the compiler before it is assigned to the num integer variable. This is also known as an example of an implicit type conversion. There's one thing that I would like to emphasize with you, so please take note of this. Since integer cannot have a decimal part, the digits after the decimal point are truncated in the above example. Okay, so you understand, right? Okay, so I hope you understand. So that's all for this tutorial. Thank you for hanging on for all this time. Okay, so we'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you very much, guys.